Hey guys, welcome. Happy Friday. I see like fireworks going on. Welcome. Thank you for joining us on another Friday. Super glad to have you. It's always a pleasure welcoming everyone to a Mintbean Learn-A-Thon. My name is Navi and I'll be your host today. I'm just changing some settings on my end so that I have my screen set up well. I'm super excited for this one. How to code a social media site. We all use them every single day. We get stuck in them. I know I get stuck. And I sometimes have to be tapped on the shoulder by my husband. What are you doing? I'm stuck is our word to each other. So yeah, you're going to be learning how to build that, how to make your user psychology get stuck inside of your social media platform. So I'm super excited about that. First of all, I want to thank you guys for choosing to spend your Friday afternoons with Mintbean. And also by attending this Learn-A-Thon, you're also investing the next 6 days on growing yourselves. Before we do jump into orientations, I love hearing from you guys in the chat. So let's share our journeys. Where are you guys tuning in from? I'm located here in Toronto. So I'd love to hear where you guys are in the world, as well as is this your first Learn-A-Thon? Have you attended a hack before? If you have attended a Mintbean hackathon, I want to hear from you. Open up your mic and let's share if you feel comfortable, open up your mic and let's talk about your experience. How was it? Did you get to submission? And especially if you made it, I'd love for you to share that with others. So I'm going to pause and see if there's anybody in the room that's participated before.
I have. I just did the action game one. And I made it to the end. I finished the game. Well, I eventually finished the game. I presented, so I got that far. But that was my second hackathon. The first one was the chat room app, and I'm still trying to wrap that one up because I still want to finish that project and put it out there. But yeah, no, it's super fun. I really like the challenge nature of it, where you get like given a task, and it's just like, yeah, you're expected to know how to do any of this stuff, but you just you do some Google research and grind until you get it done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like them a lot.
Thank you. So you said that this was your second one. How far did you get with the chat room app? Did you hit submission?
I submitted a broken thing, so the back end wasn't working. It wasn't communicating well, but that's still an in progress thing. But at that point, like, I submitted, and the next day the action game one started. So then I was just like, you know what, let me just do this one and then put that on back burner. And so today I might actually just try to finish that off before I even start this one. But
fair. Did you have you been seeing an intake with the number of people that engage with you on LinkedIn?
On LinkedIn, the posts about the hackathon and Mintbean get more responses. I usually don't get many responses at all for my posts. I haven't had anyone really like state that it's been because of it, so I really can't say. I don't know if there's up in that, but definitely within the Mintbean community of speaking to people, being able, like, I'm junior in like every sense of the term when it comes to coding. I'm like really green on all this, so it's actually nice to get to a point where I can help someone that, like, I was able to help somebody with their game, with their little paddle. It was like a breakout Star Wars game, and that feels good, like thinking that you don't know anything, and then you're like, oh well, I at least know that little thing. I just dealt with it. Here is my solution. And then they're grateful because to them it's like this huge deal, but to me it's like, okay, well, it was a huge deal to me too. I can alleviate some of that like stress and stuff like that. So that feels good too, and that boosts a little bit of the confidence to on what you feel like helps the progression.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually going to be doing another workshop with everyone who's submitted a project next week, and I'm going to be showing everyone how to utilize their hackathon project and just kind of like how to bring in visibility to employers and how to kind of like put a little spotlight on yourself. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. But I'll talk about that a little bit later. But before we jump into other things, Julia, I really appreciate sharing your experience. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, no problem.
Yeah. So guys, the first part of the orientation is just going to be about how we support you in a number of ways in this unique event. And I'm just going to go over some quick house rules. Let's keep this safe. I always screw this up. Let's keep this space safe. Keep your mics muted until we get into the Q&A session. And of course, the session is recorded and available on YouTube. So if you're not comfortable sharing your video or mic, please do turn them off. But at the same time, I do enjoy seeing your faces. It helps me engage with you and just doesn't feel like I'm speaking to the void. So I appreciate everyone who does keep it on. All right, that's it for housekeeping. And of course, be kind to each other. All right, let's start. My name is Navi. If you're not familiar with me already, I'll quickly go over my journey a little bit. I'm one of the co-founders here at Mintbean, and I also lurk around in the Discord. I will start getting a little bit more active there. I wanted to do a special shout out to Jersey, who won the chat room application. It's a pretty cool app. I'm gonna link it in the chat. I want you guys all to kind of see what he's built. It's really cool. And this is the general app, and you have the ability of creating your own links by he built this in a week. So this is an amazing application. But once you do create your own link, I was having trouble coming back to the general room. So I don't know how that works. Maybe he hasn't figured that out yet. But still, it's a pretty phenomenal app that he built inside of 6 days, 7 days. So really cool. Lots of shout out to him. All right. So meet your, did I skipped a slide. All right. Since it was May the 4th, just a couple of days ago, I wanted to, do a special slide from the creator of Star Wars himself. Your focus determines your reality. The journey of breaking into this industry is a difficult one. We all know that. I'm a coding school grad. Monarch is self-taught. We understand obstacles and adversity you're all facing. I do want to say that obstacles and adversity is part of every person's life. So, and so is failure. I failed not just once, but many times. And for a while, I wasn't sure if this is the right path for me. I've been rejected many times. I've been told I'm too junior. And, I've questioned my own ability of being in this industry. And maybe you guys can relate to this. One thing that I can tell you is you got to keep showing up for yourself. At the end of the day, it's not about the people that you graduated with. It's not about who you're trying to impress. You need to show up for yourself. So as long as you don't give up, when you overcome those negative thoughts and replace them with a fighter mentality, not only will you win a lot of those internal battles, but you'll start seeing positive changes to your reality. Nothing signals more than who you are when you're faced with adversity. And this is why I always say that Mintbean is a mindset, but I don't think I've ever explained what I mean by that. So I just wanted to take a little bit of a moment to explain what I mean when I say that. It's really about pushing yourself and making a decision in the moment of actually participating. I talk about the numbers publicly all the time. If you look at the registration numbers for the Learnathons, they'll go anywhere from 100 to 150. And if you look at today's event, we have 48 people that are in this call. So just showing up in this call, you're already ahead of the curve, right? And then I want to show you guys something else. And I'm not just saying this so there's 142 attendees, there's 48 of you. there was, if I go in here, there's 139 attendees. I go into project gallery and yeah, there were a few teams in here, but there's 4 projects. So that takes a lot of grit in order to show up for yourself and say, I'm going to push through. And you know, we've created an ecosystem of lots of support around here. There's code mentors. This is a phenomenal community. You can ask anybody here for support, and they'll want to make sure that you get through this project. So I just want you to just remember those numbers and that bubble up effect that happens. Recruiters know how difficult participating in these events are, and that's why that's why I was asking Julio, not just if, when I meant like if he was seeing a higher activity in his LinkedIn, I didn't just mean for that singular post. I just kind of meant like if he's seeing more engagement, because a lot of times our past winners have said that to us, that you know they're seeing more interest from hiring managers, they're getting more interviews, and that's really what this entire ecosystem is all about. All right, that was my little spiel of motivation. All right, back to the slides. So a shout out to all our code mentors, Hector, Chang, and Darsh. Each one of them is phenomenal, and they're here to support you. And I'll go over the mentor hours. A couple of tips on the Learn-A-Thon guide. So how to get help. Again, this is all available in the resource section. So if I go to social media site and I go under resources, you can just kind of click here for instructions, or you can click here and it'll take you to the guide. So inside the guide, you'll see Code Mentor Help, and you'll see the timings. I feel like a lot of the community does mention that we never knew that there was support, or we didn't know when coffee and code hours were and exactly what that was. So I want to take a minute here and emphasize the schedule for coffee and code. We have a Google Calendar for the code mentors, and I'm trying to figure out a way of exposing it to the community. If anybody knows a trick on how to make that happen, reach out to me and help me set that up for you guys. I don't know what that looks like, to just make it so that maybe, like, you know, if you're interested, you can add yourself to that calendar and get notifications. I'm still trying to figure out how to make it more accessible. So Friday today at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, 4 Central with Hector. Monday at 6 p.m. This is next Monday. With Chung, and Wednesday at 12 Eastern with Darsh. So 12 p.m. Is that 12 p.m. or is that 12 a.m.? I thought he did a midnight shift. I'm gonna have to double check on that because he's in India. So I will make sure that timing is correct. To be determined. How to submit. How are they structured? What do you mean by that? How do we bring our questions? That's that's actually a fantastic question. They're actually pretty informal. The way that one of the best, actually, we used to have a resource of how to ask questions, and maybe that's a resource that we need to put back on, where it's, I think the best way to ask questions to anyone, not just a code mentor, is show them what you've already done, right? Is don't ask questions in terms of, oh, I don't know how to do this. Like, what did you Google, right? Where did you get, like, showing them the code snippet, showing them like where, you know, what resources you've already explored. No. So Monarch is saying no need to book in advance. You just show up. Monarch, do you have any tips on how to ask questions to code mentors?
Basic structure for asking questions in tech, in my experience, has always been what behavior do you expect? What behavior are you actually getting? and what evidence or what symptoms can you help out with? So what can you bring? A stack trace? Can you bring some error messages? Can you bring some snippets of code in to help the code mentor just get a quick understanding of what's going on, and just just load them up with that format. So what do you expect? What's actually going on, and what supporting information can you provide, like stack traces and code snippets?
Yeah. If anyone is looking to help the rest of the community with that structure, I'm always looking for volunteers to support. So if anyone wants to volunteer and say, hey, I'm just going to create a how to ask questions in these sessions, please reach out to me. Okay, how to submit. It is a 3-part series. First part is on the platform. So submitting on the platform, you do have to be registered for the event. Second part, and the most important one, is posting on your LinkedIn. Let's go over this because this is pretty crucial. Blurb about the challenge, what technologies you use to build them, what you learned from building this project, include project links. We do recommend that you give some love to Mintbean. Tag us so that we can see and love and share it with our network. Use relevant hashtags, keyword searches, technologies. I haven't seen a lot of these, but guys, this is pretty crucial. I've noticed the last couple of batches missed this component. So 1 to 3 minute video demoing your work. Vidyard, Loom are just like, they're so easy, where there's a little capture of yourselves while it's capturing your screen of. And I've said this, Julio, you were there in the session where, I said, as a developer, nobody understands your project better than you and all the features that it can do. So just walk someone through exactly what it is that you've built. Don't make it 5 to 10 minutes. Keep it short. 3 minutes should be like your max, and 1 minute should be sort of like bare minimal. There's some great examples. There's the Soko Wars. I always reference this one. I'm going to drop it in chat. Do take a look at this one. There's also a bunch of really just great ones. As you can see, my messages, I am really bad at responding to people. Yeah, this one's great too. This one was actually really funny. So somebody built, you guys can definitely relate to this. I don't know if oh, he posted the yeah, this one's actually like, it's really good. I'm sure you guys can relate. So how do I play? Oh no. Oh, I'm
So
trying to.
Navi's applying to jobs right now, basically. And she's sending her resume out to all these different companies, and then it starts speeding up.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
I actually really like this one. This one was fun.
I'm not getting a job anywhere. God damn it.
I can relate. Been there.
Yeah, this is actually a really fun game, and I think a lot of you can relate. Okay. All right.
So Amazon. Woo.
Took a while. Wasn't sure what was gonna happen there for a minute. Yeah, this is a really cool one. But yeah, definitely post your work on LinkedIn, and the more creative you are in that post, there's lots of different ways to skin this cat, guys. Recruiters live on LinkedIn. So I'm going to be running more of these sessions. I've kind of realized that the community needs more support on how to post these posts, and I'm going to be coming up with a format and schedule in the next coming weeks. Where were we? How to plan your project. This is a difficult project. Building a social media app. Start with planning. Do not overlook this stage, especially if you're working with a team. Delegating who's responsible for what, splitting the work. There's a lot of resources here on helping you get started. Ask somebody who's participated in these events. Julio's in this call. Reach out to him and say, hey, what are your recommendations on planning a project? Ask other people. Go to past events inside of the Mintbean platform. Take a look at who submitted. and take a look at who's won before. Hey, what are your recommendations in planning these projects? Reach out to the community, but there's a lot of resources here in the guide as well. And before I pass the baton on to Mark, I did actually want to mention, if I can find it, so many tabs open. Where is it? Yes. So Taylor Desian, I believe I'm saying that correctly, is a senior recruiter advocate, and he's coming in on Monday, and I'm really looking forward to this particular workshop. He's going to be doing a workshop on how social media can help you land your dream job. He's a fantastic recruiter. He's been in this space for a very long time. So there's a lot of expertise knowledge that he's going to be sharing with you guys. I definitely recommend that. Don't miss out this workshop. And that's it for me, Mark. It's time to talk about the challenge.
Well, we just crossed 5,000 registrations for Mintbean's hackathons for the year. So that's big news. That makes us one of the biggest hackathons on the web, and I'm just really excited. I was taking a look at Postgres, and it's yeah, a bit of a moment of pride for us over here, and you guys as well. It's just Mintbean it doesn't belong to anybody in particular. It's really an energy that's out there helping people, and the community is starting to step up. I wanted to start by saying the community is starting to step up and creating programs for other members in the community. So we have a job hunt club that's coming up. We have a blogging club that's coming up. We have a few open source projects that are lined up. One's already running. And if you guys want to get involved, please join us at the town hall meeting for the Dev Collective. The Dev Collective is the body of volunteers that's making all of this possible. What the Dev Collective does is they get mentorship from me, and then they pay it forward to the community. And that way it's a win-win for everybody. It helps me expand my circle of influence to help more people, and it helps the community grow and get more jobs. So that's all free. We don't charge developers for any of this. And we have the town hall coming up at 3 o'clock Eastern. That's in an hour and a half. Everybody's invited, and if you'd like to come and take a look and see if being a part of the Dev Collective is for you, then come and hang out with us at the town hall, and it'll be really cool. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about today's project. So you guys are here to build a Twitter clone. So I decided to go ahead and make a basic one for you. I was thinking about the data model. I was thinking about how complex this is, and I realized that building something like Twitter, it's a lot of grunt work in the beginning, and then it's a lot of creative work when you really get the basic stuff out of the way. So I've built authentication for you guys. I've built posts for you guys. I've built users for you guys. I've built the landing page. I've built the feed. I've built a lot of it for you. And I've built it in a decent, in a pretty decent way where everybody should be able to understand the code. Let me walk you guys through the project as soon as I have it open on my local. Just a sec.
Do you leave any of the features for anyone else to build?
Oh yeah. Oh, there's so many features. I didn't do tags. I didn't do hashtags. I didn't do tagging people. I didn't do likes or follows. So there's a lot. There's a lot that's still remaining. Absolutely. Okay, so here's Twitterbean. I wanted to give you guys a walkthrough first. So Twitterbean is about making new friends, talking about things, and being a part of community. And I'm going to log in. And my password is exposed because my password is just password. Don't tell anyone. Here's what I've built for you guys so far. It's a full stack application, React on the front end, Express on the back end, MongoDB as a database to keep things simple. And this application has a mix of TypeScript and JavaScript because TypeScript, I want to start introducing people to TypeScript. It's going to start becoming more and more of a mandatory technology in the workplace. And I wanted to start introducing everybody to it. It's already built out and it's already set up. So you guys have a lot of room to play. If you guys don't like it, you can dumb it down and turn it into a JavaScript app, no problem. If you guys want to really supercharge it, you can do that too. and it's totally your call. Not going to tell you what to do or how to do it. But yeah, like I'm really excited about this one. It's so simple. It's material UI on the front end. I've done the basics for you. I have not polished it up. So you can go here, you can log out, you can log in, et cetera, et cetera. You can sign up for a new account. That's all done. And let me walk you through the code. Here's the code. So who knows what a monorepo is? Anybody know what a monorepo is? Just trying to get a gauge of where everybody is. Nope. Okay. Monorepo means your backend and your front end are in the same repository. So the two separate projects, same repository. So you can see there's a front end over here and there's a back end over here. It's all stitched together using Yarn workspaces. And you can get all the architectural 411 in the README. So there's a section there. You guys can just go through this at your own pace. There's an architecture section with a few helpful links to help you understand what's going on. And this project, I want everybody to take a look at this project and ask every single question that comes to your mind, ask it in the community, because as a group, we're going to be able to cover everyone's blind spots. This is not a project that you want to do in a silo. And I encourage you to just drop your question in Discord. There's no such thing as bad question. Drop your questions in Discord. And if you ask more questions, you'll be able to get through this project no problem. But if you don't ask questions, I will warn you, there's complexity here. So I will warn you about that. But if you ask questions, I guarantee you'll be fine. It's not going to be hard at all. Go through the architecture, and I've put together all the basic scripts over here for you guys. So the README really has everything that you need to get started. It has getting started instructions. It has deploying instructions. If you look at the Kanban for today, let me go over to the Kanban. If you log in, let me log in with my user account. If you log in, say monarch user account, say log in. No. There you go. So if you log in and you go over here and you click on Kanban on the left-hand side, you'll see that you first have to register to view this meet. So I'm going to register real quick. I'm going to Kanban and I'm going to click unlock a Kanban. And we have getting started. We have the goal of the hackathon. We have everything that you guys need over here on the Kanban board. Getting started is as simple as cloning the starter repo. So just in order to get started, just go to the Kanban, click clone the starter repo, and you can clone this project. There's a lot of information over here. There are issues that you can tackle first if you want an easy route in by fixing some bugs. That's how a lot of workplaces get junior developers to work in the first place. So I've given you guys a bunch of bugs and issues that you guys can get started with, and that's an easy entry in. And once you're done with those bugs, maybe you can go over to the suggested features. So profile page, ability to set your photo, bio, full name. These things are simple extensions on top of the current table in the database. So it's not hard. How many people over here are front-end only and are not in a team? Anybody who's front-end only and not in a team? Okay, one. There's one. So Julio is really good. I suggest somebody pick up Julio. Okay, Tanya. Great. Anybody looking for a front-end person for their team? Kauri's looking. Oh,
Guys,
Ron
we
is
also
looking.
have a channel for Find a Team on Discord. I don't know if everyone knows that.
Yep, there's a Find a Team channel in the Discord too. So if everybody looks at chat right now in Zoom, there are about 6 people or 7 people over here. Julio says, use your best pickup line. Julio's playing hard to get. there's 6 or 7 people who are looking for teams. Can you guys just message each other on Discord? I'll show you how. So if you go over to Discord, and I hope everybody's on Discord by now. If not, the link's in the footer of the website. And if you go over to the Discord, and if you click on find the team on the left, who's looking for a team, guys? And now we just dropped the Discord invite. Drop your names over there, and that'll keep you going, because this one's definitely a project you want to tackle in a group. It's gonna be it's gonna be fun, but it definitely will stretch parts of you that there's going to be a lot of comfort zone because it's full stack, but then there's also going to be scope to go into the weeds. And the way it's structured, you can just focus on front end if you're doing it solo. If your team is more front end, you can just focus on the front end and fix up the front end. It is structured in a way that you can just focus on the front end, nothing to worry about. Like if Julio, for example, if you were just going it alone, I would say just don't even worry about the back end, man. Just fix up the front end and make it look beautiful. Maybe even just build it up from scratch again. And that's a great way to work on this project. If somebody is on the back end side, no need to work on the front end too much because I've already built up so much for you. Just work on the back end and make those data models, and then just do a little bit of tweaking on the front end. And that'll give you a lot of room to play in your comfort zone, but then just stretch yourself that tiny little bit into places where you don't know what you're doing, not really. And then you can get your questions from that, zone of discomfort. You can get your questions from the zone of discomfort. You can go to the Code Mentor hours, get your questions answered. So, 404 error. Okay, I'm guessing on this. Did I make this public yet? Thank you for bringing that up. Change visibility. I'm going to make it public. And you guys should have visibility now. Can you guys try now? Let me know. And
sorry, Monarch, you also mentioned to drop questions for this specific hackathon. Which channel did you want those questions?
So for this hackathon, you can drop questions inside either the event chat or coding questions or Code Mentor help. And there's no real hard and fast rule about where you drop questions. I will say Code Mentor help is where everybody has their eyes. All the Code Mentors have their eyes on Code Mentor hours. So that's one place where you can definitely get help, even if it's outside of Code Mentor hours. I know they take a look. Coding questions is also another place where the community keeps their eye. I keep my eyes on coding questions more than Code Mentor hours myself. And if there are any questions that are not technical, event chat can field them. The community is really supportive and friendly, no matter where you ask. Even if you go and ask in random, you'll get an answer. So don't sweat it. Just ask wherever you feel comfortable. Yeah, okay, that's pretty much the overall picture. If anybody midway, by the time you hit Tuesday, a lot of you guys are going to feel like quitting by the time you hit Tuesday. And it's very important that you push through that, because by the time Wednesday rolls around, you're going to be in sight of deployment, because deployment is, I believe, Thursday. So you're in sight of deployment. Just push through that Tuesday hump and you'll get through it just fine. Also, don't waste the weekend. The weekend is also something that you can leverage. Don't waste the weekend. Don't think, oh, this is work. I'm not gonna do this on the weekend. No. This should feel like a video game to you guys. This is not work. This should feel like a video game or playing Monopoly. That's how this should feel. You should get in that state of flow. It should feel, for the artistic people in the room, this should feel like, riffing on a guitar or writing a story or painting a picture. For the non-artistic people, it should feel like a long drive on an empty freeway. That's how coding should feel. Just a steady feeling of flow. And if you're not getting that, come to Code Mentor hours, ask questions. Please do. I actually do not like Monopoly. I like Risk better. Claude just said, I used to play Monopoly as a kid. But then I think I rage quit when I was about 7. I think I flipped the board. I was a really sore loser when I was a kid. I'll tell you that. I got better after that, um, mainly because I don't lose anymore. Okay, coming back to we're taking a short month off the hackathons. We'll be coming back in June. Don't worry about it. We have workshops all through May, and we have a bunch of really great workshops coming up. Keep your eye out on that. Discord community is still going to be live. I'm going to be in the Discord community, but we really want to enjoy the weather, and we really want to just take some time out. Running these hackathons is intense, and we've just hit a milestone. It's time for a celebration. So we haven't taken a week off the hackathon. I think we've taken 1 week off where we didn't have hackathons, but we still had more work to do. So we're taking some time off and taking some time for ourselves. But we'll be back in June, and we'll be back, and it'll be even better than before. So keep an eye out for that. For this one, deploy first. That's all I'm going to say. Just deploy first. It's the hardest part for this one. So just try and deploy first. I recommend either Heroku or EC2. I don't know how it'll play with Vercel. I haven't tested it on Vercel. I know it'll work on EC2, and DigitalOcean is really good too. But yeah, like let's come together as a community and let's share knowledge with each other. That's the whole point of Mintbean, is to help each other. And we're going to help each other in the Discord channel and get through this together. That's why it's a Learn-A-Thon. It's not a super competitive event. Yes, there is a winner, but it's not a competitive event. It's a group event. We're all going to build this together like a family. And yeah, I'm sure I'm missing a few things, but that's pretty much all I got. The goal of the hackathon is just to build the most creative and interesting social media platform possible. There's no end goal. There's no set tickets that you have to build. There are suggestions and there are known issues that you can fix. But really, just build. Just embellish the platform. Just build it naturally. See what features you want to put on there. If you want to make it, if you want to give it a different theme, give it a different theme. If you want to plan the whole thing out, plan the whole thing out. I find that different people do different things. I get the feeling that people who don't plan hackathons out but work really hard at it are the ones that actually end up building something cool. But that's if you work really hard at it and you have the bandwidth for that. If you don't have the bandwidth, definitely plan. But if you have the bandwidth for it, then just go ham at it and just build something. No need to make lists. Just have fun with it. I'm rambling. I think I'm done. Do we have any questions?
Did you want to do a walkthrough of the code?
I should do a walkthrough of the code, shouldn't I?
Yes.
Okay. Are the front end and backend servers still running on different ports? So Claude in dev mode, yes. And in production mode, so when you do a yarn build and yarn start from the root folder, it'll build your front end for you, drop it in the public folder in the backend, and at that point, it's the same port. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, so let's do the front end. In the front end folder, we have Parcel Bundler, which is by far my favorite bundler for hackathons. Parcel is starting off. What you want to do is you want to do yarn dev from the root. And yes, all the instructions for the different scripts and builds are included in the files, yes. And I'm here if you have any questions and something's not clear, ask in the Discord and I can clarify, but everything is there inside that GitHub repository. Index.html is where Parcel starts. Parcel is really smart. So it will go in there and figure out what script is the entry point, and it'll run that script. Yeah, you can do nom. Nom would be a great name for a bundler. Like that'd be great. Like nom eats the world. That's great. Yeah, npm. You can definitely do npm install. I would suggest take the yarn locks out, but yes, you can. Yep. So basically, index.html is the entry point, and I can go into index.html. Oh, sorry, index.jsx. Where are you? Index.jsx source/index.jsx. And inside index.jsx, I'm doing a React DOM.render, nothing too funky so far. And if I go into app, this is where I want to tell you a few things for this application. In production, you end up finding these really interesting patterns that you didn't find in your bootcamp, and you learn from them. So what I've done is I've kind of amped it up a little bit so that you guys start getting exposed to state provider, to context and providers, and use context hooks and the use reducer hook. So we're using use reducer and use context together instead of Redux. I thought Redux would just throw a lot of people for a loop. So instead of Redux, we're using use reducer. And use reducer is the one thing that you probably want to know about, because that's where we're keeping our global state. The global state just has a user. So you can put anything you want in global state. Right now, it just has a user. And the way that you set the user is you do a dispatch. Yeah, I can absolutely zoom in. So this is a reducer. A lot of you folks will know this from either Redux or just in general, you'll know what a reducer does. A reducer looks like this. There's a switch on the type of action, and if the action type is set user, then it sets the user on the previous state. If the action type is unset user, then it removes the user from the previous state. So that's how reducers work. You can look at the documentation and figure out how the use reducer hook works. And I recommend you take a look at the use reducer documentation and kind of understand how it works, grok how it works. If it throws you for a loop, ignore this part of the code altogether if it's beyond your grasp, and focus on something that's a little more within your grasp. So I don't want anybody to stretch outside of their comfort zone. No, you're not required to use TypeScript. Svetlana, thanks for the great question. No need to use TypeScript at all. Having said that, it's kind of nice, but no need to use TypeScript at all. If you see anything that's weird, best way to fix it is just go and rename the file to JSX instead of TSX. And then you'll have to go into index.html and rename that to JSX. That's already done for you. And then over here, you're going to start seeing squigglies. You just take out the stuff that's weird. And that's how you go from JSX to, from TSX to JSX. So it's really simple. So this is a type. We don't need a type. We don't need this. We don't need this. And this is almost really just plain simple JavaScript at this point. I hope that kind of answers your question. So there's no need to use TypeScript. You can definitely go in and remove it. I really like TypeScript, and I'm a big advocate for TypeScript. So that's why I put it in there, so that if anybody wants to take the opportunity, you can, but you don't have to. But even the exercise of just going in there and removing TypeScript will do wonders for your understanding of TypeScript. It'll get you in the mode of thinking about it. The front end is divided into auth and feed. Auth has login page and logout page and register page. Now, register page and login page are basically the same file. There's a little puzzle in there if anybody wants to take advantage of that puzzle. How do you dry up login and register? So they both have exactly the same structure. There's only a few things that are different between login and register. So that's a little puzzle for anybody who wants to go in there and dry that up. That'd be a great low impact place to start. It is in TypeScript, so you can definitely turn it back into JavaScript, or you can just keep going with TypeScript. Totally up to you. But the refactoring of code is way more important than most people think. As a junior developer, you often don't get the opportunity to refactor code. And guess what you're going to do when you get into the workplace? You're not going to be trusted with a new feature. Somebody's going to ask you to go in there and fix something from their old code. So this is amazing experience for people who are just getting into the interview stages, into the final interview stages, especially the take-home challenges. Very often you get a take-home challenge that says, hey, clean up this code for me. And this will give you the exercise to actually do that. There's the auth API. There's a get, put, post, delete, standard stuff. I don't think there's anything too funky over here. Oh, here's how dispatch is being used. This is an example of after you log out, then you dispatch unset user, and you set the user to null. And that's how you're dispatching. You don't want the user anymore. That's how we're logging out. That's how JavaScript is logging out. Just so you guys know. While we're on logout, that's a good place to go into the backend. So in the backend, we have our schemas. We have the user schema. So this is the user. The user has a handle like at your name. It has a password hash. So we're using bcrypt to save passwords into the database. If this is a place that excites you, maybe you can implement password reset if that's something that you really want to do. But that's something that I'll let you guys implement yourself. Maybe you guys can implement email notifications. Sendinblue has a free email system. You can get an SMTP server without a credit card from Sendinblue. So maybe you can create email notifications on sign up or sign in and forgot password. The user schema is, of course, joined to the post schema, posts being tweets. And the post schema has just text. And Mongoose takes care of the ID field for you, so you don't have to worry about the ID field. So that's on the database side. And all of that is to kind of prep you for what's coming next, which is auth. There are a few different auth routes over here. You have login, you have register, you have register, you have check. So check is check if I'm logged in or not. And you have logout. And you'll notice that we're doing this interesting rec.session.userid thing. So what we're doing is we're using cookie authentication, which even today is the recommended way to do authentication and security in the browser. You can use JWT, but those JWT tokens really have to live inside the cookie layer for it to be secure. So this is a great opportunity for somebody. If somebody wants to go in and take the opportunity to learn authentication, this is a great spot to learn how authentication is done in production. I won't say this is 100% production ready code just because it's messy, but the patterns are production ready, and you'll learn a lot just by looking at the authentication, screwing around with it, trying to change it, maybe rewriting it. Don't worry about trying to win the hackathon. Go into the code and take this opportunity to learn what's in the code. If you want to compete, then compete. But it's also an opportunity for you to just geek out and learn how a senior developer puts together all of this stuff. Just so you guys know, I'm really proud of myself. I built this whole thing from scratch in 11 hours. It was a rush, and that was a lot of fun. And I just can't believe I did that because I've been out of a coding habit for 6 months. So yeah, I still got it. So this has technical debt because I did not clean it up for you guys, which is good. Yes, I am spinning it, but it is good because you guys have to learn how to deal with crap code. And I've put down patterns that are good, but there are also some weird things going on in here, like this TS ignore thing is kind of weird. And you'll start working with this messy but working code. It's extensible. It's just clean enough that you guys can actually work on it. But it's dirty enough that you guys can get a feel for what actual production code feels like. There's a saying, if your code makes money, it stinks. So, this is the kind of code that you might find in actual production. Because who has time to go in and refactor? You guys should see the platform code. It's a mess. It's over-engineered and it's a mess. There's a middleware that's interesting. So the middleware is how we're doing require auth, and you guys can go into it. You guys can start taking a look at it. Look, if you guys have any questions about any part of the code, let me know and I can answer. If town hall is slow, that might be a good time to ask a few questions, but only if it's slow. That's at 3 o'clock. But otherwise, just ask me on Discord. The post routes is pretty standard, just standard CRUD stuff. There's the drop DB script. So I've given you guys a drop DB script. If you guys ever want to just wipe the database clean and start from scratch, just do this. You guys are going to have to install Mongo, but Mongo is really easy. So once you install Mongo, everything else is fine. You don't have to fiddle with the database or anything. Just install Mongo and you're good to go. And make sure it's running, of course. But this script will just wipe your database clean, and then you can register a brand new user and get into the system through registration flow. So you can use DropDB by going to the root folder and using the DropDB script in the root folder. And this is all production level stuff, so you guys can go crazy with it and learn what it feels like to be a real software developer. Any questions before we wrap this up?
Monarch, that was a lot at one time, but I'm sure we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah,
so I don't know, we're gonna get started and just struggle bust through it, I guess.
Well, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. And the biggest misconception that people have is that struggle is bad and the unknown is scary. Biggest misconception, and that's the biggest mistake you can make in this industry. If you get scared of struggling through it, I've seen so many people fail because of that, man. Like, I can't even tell you how many people I've seen just struggling to deal with this fear of the unknown that they then label imposter syndrome, and then they feel even worse. It's a trap. It's a trap. There's a Star Wars meme. It's a trap with that squid dude saying it's a trap. So yeah, if you see anything challenging, either go into it or avoid it. Avoiding it is fine too, but don't get overwhelmed. Do something that's easy. There's a lot of surface area over here to do easy stuff. So if you get overwhelmed with the hard stuff, it's open-ended. Just go into the easy stuff and start working with, I don't know, if your jam is backend and do backend, if your jam is CSS, then do CSS and learn how Material UI likes its CSS. And don't psych yourself out with, like I sense that you're kind of anticipating that maybe it'll be hard. And I welcome you to rise to the challenge, find your level. Don't bite off more than you can chew, but definitely don't give up either. And you'll have a great time. I promise you that, sir.
This is again, like I just want to emphasize, this is why I started off with the motivational stuff, because it is challenging, right? You are trying to push through it. And I see Ali saying biggest challenge would be TypeScript. Avoid it then, right? Yeah. Don't go into an area where it's going to be, don't make it hard for yourself. Make it first, like, do it easy. It's like, okay, if I can do it with JavaScript, just let's try that. And then it's like, okay, Tuesday, maybe you're done. Let's step it up. What, do you want to add more features or do you want to add complexity?
And if anybody wants to have a session on wiping out the TypeScript stuff, I'll keep an eye out. If anybody wants to get my help to wipe out TypeScript, I'm happy to put in an extra hour or two next week, maybe on Monday, to help you guys clean away the TypeScript. And I'll show you guys how TypeScript kind of works and how you can clean away TypeScript to get to pure JavaScript. I can help you guys on Monday. And if it gets really bad, just shout out, and I can even help you guys on the weekend if it gets really bad for y'all. So I got your back. I got your back. But this is definitely, MSAT is definitely 100% right. If you guys get stuck with anything, the community is there so that you can go far from home and yet have a place to come back to, right? That's the whole point over here, is we're trying to push you into places that'll make you grow. It's like going to the gym and working with that resistance. And of course, if you need motivation, then the community is the coach. And I want you guys to use the community as a support system. Use me as a support system. Use the Code Mentor Hours as a support system. Don't give up. Just come to Code, and it's totally fine if you fail. Failure is good, but giving up will make you feel crap. It will make you feel guilty. It'll make you feel resentful against yourself. And oh, Julio, man, like you just like distracted me. You started. Yeah, you're gonna feel real crap if you give up. I promise you. You'll feel crap if you give up. But if you fail, you'll forgive yourself. Rahul is asking, if I choose to work solo, I'm working a lot in the next few days. Could I possibly split all this up into sprints so I'll be learning just slower? Yep. If you want to just work on this for weeks, take it away. Take it away as a template project that you're starting on. Other people are going to be deploying. Other people are going to be giving you ideas by writing code and exposing their source code. Yeah, man. Like you can absolutely just go slow with this over many weeks. Totally. A lot of people do that actually.
But I just want to say that one thing that I've noticed, that if you don't have a goal for submitting it, you end up, I've seen patterns where because you don't have like a finish line in mind, you're more likely to abandon it. So just keep that in the back of your mind as well.
Yep. Doug said, I'm getting an error running yarn dev. Doug, can you share your error? And maybe this is something that other people are going through too. So it would be good to find out what that is. Do you have a stack trace that you can share? If you're not comfortable sharing your screen, then you can drop it in Discord, maybe copy paste it. Christina said, where do we get the source code that we will work on? The first ticket on the Kanban board, that's right. And again, the way you get to the Kanban board, this is important, I'll go over it again, is you go over to the meets page. So you go to Mintbean, this is the home page. You click join a hackathon, you click how to code a social media site, you click register, I've already registered. You go to Kanban, you click open, and it's here. And the first item over here has clone the starter repo and the getting started.
Doug is asking, where do I post the stack trace?
You can post it in Discord, and I can answer in Discord. That's probably the best place to post it because of the syntax highlighting. And Rahul asks, is there a minimum amount of features needed to submit? I do enjoy the deadlines, gets me focused. No minimum amount of features, however much you can do. And the more you put in, the more you'll get out, just like going to the gym, which I never do. So I'm, kind of, I don't know what I'm talking about, but.
Awesome. All right, guys. This is going to be fun. Like building a social media site, I think is going to give you guys a lot of knowledge and just understanding how these platforms, you interact with them daily. LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. This is where we all live, really, socially. So it's going to be a lot of insights into what that looks like.